Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today we've got a video and we're going to talk a little bit about how we do preservation work here on the ship. So, first off, we're not allowed to run this ship. Our agreement with the Navy says that we cannot reactivate the ship, particularly steam systems. We can run the lighting, we can do other stuff like that, but we can't run the ship's own turbo generators that make electrical power. We can't run the boilers, we can't run the galley equipment. We've got a whole list of things that we cannot do to reactivate the ship. We don't have very many instructions on what we have to do in terms of maintaining the ship, in terms of preservation. So we're using industry best standards instead of following any specific guidelines. In this instance, industry best standards are the standards for historic vessel preservation from the Secretary of the Interior's office. This is the Bible on how to preserve a museum ship. And to boil this whole book down into one sentence, keep the water out. Do whatever you have to do to keep the water out. So we want to preserve the form of the ship. We don't need the function of it. And we do need the ship to be watertight, because if water gets in, then it degrades the original material of the vessel. And obviously we don't want to have to crop out original material and replace it with new stuff. I'm not sure we can get special treatment steel anymore or Class A armor. We'd have to replace it with something different and modern. And if it's metallurgically different from the original stuff, it's going to waste away even quicker because of dissimilar metal corrosion. So here is the conundrum we found. This pipe penetrates the 1.5-inch thick special treatment steel deck. We have been finding water running down the outside of this pipe in the berthing space below this, which is on the tour route. That water runs down, it gets under the tile on second deck, and is held by the leveling compound, like a concrete substance. Concrete's very porous, it holds water under there, it doesn't allow air in to dry that water out. So the water causes rust on the deck beneath, which is not 1.5 inch thick of armor plating. It causes that rust to bloom up, which makes the concrete pop, which pops the tile off the top, which creates tripping hazards for our guests using that space. So, for a whole host of reasons, we want to stop the water from getting into that space. This pipe is designed to carry 600-pound, 850-degree steam. It's a pretty thick pipe. It's expensive to replace. We don't need to replace it to get it in working order again. This is the reason why the maintenance department called me with how to fix this. I don't do maintenance on the ship anymore. I'm the curator. However, they wanted to know what this pipe was and if we needed it. So, this pipe, you can tell because it's painted white on the top, is for steam. Why is there a steam pipe here on the main deck? The pipe down below that was leaking had steam written on it, but they couldn't figure out why there would be a steam pipe there. Here's what this does. This, and my engine men on here probably already know, when this ship is getting underway, it takes a long time to build up steam pressure to get the vessel moving. In order to get the boilers firing, you've got to have steam-powered water pumps to get the feed water in there. You've got to have steam-powered fans to get the air in there. You've got exhaust gases that have to be vented with other steam-powered fans. So there's all sorts of steam-powered equipment that has to be brought online, but you can't bring that online without the boiler. You can, it's just not quick. You can use air compressors to do it. But if you want to bypass that and just do it quick, you can pipe in steam from the shipyard where you are to get all that stuff going, and that'll reduce how long it takes to get underway. So that's why we've got this pipe coming through here. Is that something we do anymore? No, we're not allowed to run the steam equipment. So the way we're going to preserve this is cut it off, weld a plate over top of it so that it cannot leak anymore, and then weld this back on so that the feature isn't lost. You can still see it, you still know what it is, it just will no longer function. So there's a common misconception out there that we, the museum, are required to preserve these ships so that the Navy can come back in and get them underway immediately. I'm told that's what happens in the movie Battleship, although I've never watched it. And that just isn't true. We are not allowed to operate the ship. We are not required to maintain the ship to those standards. If the Navy had to take these ships over again, which they couldn't do because it does not belong to the Navy anymore, the vessel belongs to the museum, as do all of the Iowa-class battleships, then the Navy would have to put the ship into dry dock, and it would probably be 1 to 2 years to reactivate her. That's how long it took when the Navy took the ship out of mothballs in any of the times they took her out of mothballs, 1950, 1968, or 1982. And it takes about a year of work to go through and open up all the sea chests that are blanked over and renew all the piping for fuel and water and whatnot that's wasted out. And in this instance, they would go through my book of alterations to the ship that I keep notes in, and then they would see that this has been blanked over and they would have to go back and redo it. And if for some reason they missed that page in my book, when they were trying to run steam through this, they would see it didn't work, and then they'd end up repiping the whole thing anyway. So that's not going to happen. The Navy's never going to reactivate these ships. And if they did, it would not be an overnight process. It would be a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar effort. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's part of the process that we go through when we are preserving the vessel. If you have any questions about it, drop them in the comment section down below. We'll get back to you. If you have any questions about other restoration projects we've done, let us know. Maybe we'll do another video on that sort of work. While this project is being tackled by maintenance, some of our restoration work is performed by volunteers. And if you're interested in volunteering, there's a link in the description below where you can email about becoming a volunteer on board. There's also a link down there on how you can donate to support the ship in the museum. The ship does receive operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, but a lot of our support comes from viewers like you. And that link to the GoFundMe down in the description will take you to that page, and it's a way you can donate directly to the YouTube channel so we can continue making content like this. We do make content several times a week, so remember to like, share, and subscribe so you see when we put up a new video. And thanks for watching.